Hi again, it's me, Cinnamon. I'm a 23-year-old working a corporate job who loves all things personal finance, especially budgeting, and today I'll be budgeting my first paycheck of March. So you can see my ready to assign amount here of $5,154.61. And that is my gross pay minus taxes. I like to just take out my taxes because I am a W-2 employee, so I don't have many opportunities for tax optimization or tax strategy. And yeah, my taxes just get taken out and I can't do much about it. But I do like to track it here on budget, and you can see that I've paid $2,208.47 towards taxes so far. Also on budget, I like to put my contributions to my tax advantage accounts. So I don't prepay those, and that's why you see them as underfunded. So I just clicked underfunded, then reset available amounts just to cover the overspending. And in total, towards my HSA and 401k, I put $1,013.85 with this paycheck. So that is that. Now I have $4,104.76 left over. And what I just do with my first paycheck is get a month ahead. So I have a month ahead holding category, and I just fund that. And yeah, using YNAB for a while, I know how much I need to cover my core spending categories for the next month. So it is just easy as making a simple single category to store that money away. Now I have $534.90 left over, and that will just start to go towards my sinking funds. Which, yes, I do have some additional overspending in my sinking funds that I will address in a bit. I typically like put $727.47 towards my sinking funds, and that is a very specific number because when I add that to how much I like to put towards my next month, that gets me to spending $52,000 a year, which is the allowance I'm giving myself. And yeah, I can't fully fund this whole thing with one paycheck. I'd love to get like there just to have everything be simpler, but it's totally fine. So I'll just have to remember to fill up the rest with my next paycheck. And before I cover the overspending here, I'm just going to make sure that my core spending categories, these available amounts match what I need them to be. So everything here is fine so far. One thing is yellow with a pending transaction, and that is because right before I made this video, I took an Uber home from work, and so I overspent a little bit on my commuting expenses. But I had some back pain, and I want to be better about just like letting myself take an Uber when I do have back pain and I'm not in the mood to like walk sort of like 40 minutes between the trains. So I'm just going to make sure that I moved enough to this category to cover my upcoming expense. So it's back to the green. Transportation is fine. I might spend more, but clue about what that will be, so I'll leave it. Groceries and eating out, totaling now $482.48. And there are 18 days left in the month. So that gives me $26 to spend per day if I, buy food every day or something. But I don't think I'll even get to that level because I have groceries that I've paid for that I haven't received yet. So I will have food for like next week that I haven't even cooked yet. So I think it should really be fine on food spending. Health insurance and additional deductions, I prepay for these even though they come out of my paycheck. I like to just fund them ahead of time. And yeah, these categories are fine. Health and hygiene, this is where I want to change some things. I don't know what I was thinking when I did my rollover video, but I really should put what I need for my annual gym membership in my health sinking fund. So I'm going to move the money to my health sinking fund. I was guessing what the annual gym membership was going to be, and then I looked it up and put the number here to remind myself. So that is why I am a little underfunded on that. So I'm going to cover my overspending. And then I'm also going to give myself an additional $30 for some products I need. Oops. Let's do this the way I wanted to do it. I think it was $37.50 plus $30 for some products I need. And I'm going to cover that with my discretionary spending category and move that to health and hygiene. Okay, so I did something wrong here as the numbers aren't right. It's 30 570. I mixed things up. So let's do this again with the right numbers. Okay, great. Now I only have $30 in this category, and I should have, if I go here, the $348 I need for my gym membership, my annual gym membership. This is fine. This is more than fine. So I'm going to do one consult for $100, and that will leave me with $218 after I pay for that, and that will be for some thrift shopping. I don't expect to spend the full $218, so that should be fine. Social activities, I am going to do restaurant week with my roommates. I think that should cost me about $60. I don't know what else is going to come up. People aren't really planning things like months in advance. Oh, I will have a board game night. And I'm just going to put away $30 to get like snacks and stuff. And again, I don't know. Things are probably going to come up that's going to make this a little bit more expensive. But I also have $80 here that I'm cutting away from myself a little bit, but I think should help. So I think I'm good to roll with the punches in all of those categories. Now let's get into my sinking funds. So something unexpected did happen this month. I was planning to get a new credit card, and I did get that credit card, but I didn't realize they charge you the annual fee at the very beginning. I thought they'd charge you the annual fee like after the year ended. So I wasn't ready to shell out $395, but it is okay because this was the month that I was planning on purchasing a lot of large items. So a flight for my dad, which, yeah, to explain that a little bit, I used to have a family vacation sinking fund, but now I just moved that money here to my general like family sinking fund, and now I'm going to use that to cover my parents' birthday presents. So for my dad, that'll be a flight, and for my mom, that'll be helping her with some credit card debt. And so, yeah. Anyway, I am positioned to like use that card. I also want to use the card to pay for my flight from Miami and my hotels for Miami. So it is okay that I got the card this month, but I wasn't expecting to spend $395 this month. But it is fine because I was actually very nervous about it. This is my second time filming this video because I just talked for way too long the first time. And when I was filming the first time, I went over like what the credit card benefits were, and I can see how it's going to help me a lot this month with my flight to Miami. So this amount is basically like what I would have spent anyway on my flight to Miami. So it is fine. Yeah, but it was like a big surprise to get that. I will cover it now, even though I like to have all of my sinking fund money before I start assigning things out. I'll just cover it now because seeing that overspending like can throw you off. So let's just go cover that. And yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about the credit card I got before I update my specific sinking funds, because you do need to understand the credit card to know why I'm making the changes I'm making. So I ended up getting the Capital One Venture X card, and yeah, you can see one of the cons is that high annual fee. I was really, really nervous when I did see that like hit my account, and I was like, ooh, am I really going to make this money back? But reviewing the details of the card, I feel like I'm going to be okay with making the money back. I'm going to ignore the sign up bonus because that is one time and that is not enough for me to feel comfortable. What I do like about this card is that it is a $300 annual credit, and then you also get $10,000 or 10,000 bonus miles, which is $100 like equivalent every year. So that is $400 of my credits you get every year, which is already beating the annual fee. Even knowing this, I still feel a little hesitant because a chunk of that is a $300 annual credit that you have to book through their travel portal. And one thing I didn't like about picking a travel card is that a lot of the best benefits come from using their travel portal, but you don't get to see that portal before you get the card. So I didn't know if that portal would actually like work for me. And I did notice that I wanted to buy my dad's flight through the travel portal and get like all the, you know, benefits or 5x miles on purchasing that flight, but I couldn't because they didn't support that flight on the travel portal. They didn't have any flights for that time on the travel portal, which I didn't even know was an option. I thought they would basically match Google Flights. So that was one thing I was naive about. Another thing I was naive about is that the prices in the travel portal are sometimes higher than the prices on Google Flights. So yeah, it's hard to like really know if you're ending up saving money if you're like paying for something at a higher price, even though they do subsidize it for you. It's like, well, that subsidy was like at a higher price that I actually would have paid anyway. So I am going to try to be really diligent this year to make sure I'm getting like my money's worth with this card. And I feel like 1 year of really tracking, if I can make this $395 back and then some, because obviously if I had a zero fee card, I would just be making money on the card. So I don't want to just break even. I actually want to like go above and beyond breaking even. Seeing how much I do achieve that will be something that I'm really curious about and I'd love to report back about. There are way better YouTube videos comparing credit cards, so I'm not going to go too big on comparing credit cards, but I will call out that the card I was considering, besides this card, was the Chase Sapphire Preferred, not the Reserved, because the Reserved annual fee was just way too high for me. I like that this had only a $95 annual fee, but when I look at the benefits over, besides the sign-up bonus, which is very generous, when I look at the benefits over, it's not like immediate, like the same way with the Capital One Venture X card, how I get my money back. Just flashing at this, I don't see myself getting my money back immediately. Whereas with the Capital One Venture X card, 300 plus $100, $400, like there. It just feels way too obvious. It almost seems like what's going to go wrong with this card? I am also really excited to finally get like TSA pre-check or something. I've never wanted to splurge on something like that because I don't travel that much. I don't enjoy traveling, and yeah, I don't want to just like sink money into something I don't really like that much. Um, but now I'm basically getting it for free, so that is cool, and I am like excited to see if that makes me feel better about traveling. The TSA section was never the part I had the most issue with. It's being on a flight for hours and like not being at home and having all the things. But hopefully, this makes traveling cheaper and less miserable. So, yeah, now that we've gone over those benefits a little bit, I want to update what I think I'll be spending on my Miami trip. So, like I mentioned, I'm actually going to be doing one consult for Miami, and that is because, and that consult is going to be $100, and it's going to be covered by my aesthetic expenses. And the reason why I dropped my other consult is because that doctor that I was considering, one, I already knew this. He's not a board certified plastic surgeon. He's only a board certified ENT. And I was never going to have him operate on me because of that. But I still wanted his like opinion and to get his edits of my face just to like have his opinion because I was interested in his work. But the main reason why I decided not to even have a consultation with him is because he charges $500 for a 30-minute virtual consultation, which is very high for Miami and also like his clientele. He doesn't do like celebrities the same way I've seen other doctors do celebrities. And he charges $1,500 for a 45-minute in-person consultation. So what gave me hesitancy about that is in both cases, I should be getting your undivided attention. I don't understand why an in-person consultation is 3 times the cost of a virtual one. If in both cases I'm getting your undivided attention, and I would hope you're like in a medical facility, right? It didn't really make sense to me why that would be the case. So I just want to stay away from that doctor. And I'm glad because that is going to save me a big chunk of change. So this consult price now is removed from my total price because I'm covering it with a different category. My flight is $300, but that will be covered by the credit card. And I will have 3 days of hotel stay, which I also think will be largely covered by the credit card, but I'll have to go see in the portal before I make a decision on how much I'll actually be spending myself. And yeah, now I can drop this down to $600. So once I give myself my remaining $200 for my sinking funds, let's just say I have 150 in this category now. So that's going to bring me up to 350. And I still have to get my travel reimbursement of $200 plus the $50 phone bill reimbursement that I already have. So that is going to bring me up to $550, $600, and then $600. So that should all be covered with my next paycheck. So I'm very excited about that. And yeah, I'm going to be booking everything related to this trip throughout the month now. And I might have some overspending because I might book things before my next paycheck, which is in a whole 2 weeks. But I'm fine with that because I've already now just laid out this math to you guys. I'll let you know that if I do get paid, I should be able to have the money. So yeah, that is my budget video. Thank you for budgeting with me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.